Let us pray. God, stand up in the congregation of the mighty, and judge amongst the gods. Alone we judge unjustly and accept the person for the wicked. I say, defend the poor and the fatherless, be justice to the afflicted and the needy, deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They go upon and buck. All the foundations of the earth are out of court. I have said, ye are God, and all of you are children of the Most High. But you shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth. Thou shalt inherit all nations. Allah Akbar.
This is Kadar Franks, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Warrior Training.
Keep up with the journey. Check out what we have done in the past. Go to journeyarchives.com.
This is Adam Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Be sure to follow Gye-Nyame Journey on Facebook, Google Plus, and Twitter. Check us out. Join the journey.
This is Adam Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio with Monica. Enjoy. This is Lulu with Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
This is Willie. Welcome to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I want to give shout out to Silver Kevin, all my Silver Nation out there. I want to give shout outs to my mom. I give shout out to my dad who raised me and my family to be around me. And I want to give shout out to the people of my generation that's trying to do something big.
What's up, Brother Joe Berry? Shouts out to Nehemiah.
Cleveland, and you're listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Thanks for sharing. Shouts out to Joe Berry. Thanks for sharing.
Hotep. It's Mansour Hotep, aka Mr. Deity. Mr. Deity, does it sound good? I think it sounds great. Right now, you're listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry your name. This is Brother Hatem coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Shouts out to the Gye-Nyame tribe, Gye-Nyame family. Stand up. Peace. If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, You don't deserve to carry this name. This is Brother Hatem coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Shout out to Gye-Nyame Tribe, Gye-Nyame family. Stand up. You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Peace.
Oh, Facebook. My God, this moving so slow.
You are now
you listen to my dad.
on Gye-Nyame
Journey
Radio.
Radio.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, family. As you heard it, I have had enough. I have had enough. And you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey. That's right. That's right. My Phoenix is up. This is a Heart of a Simple production, and we are talking about folk tales for grown folks. Production, but we strive. Blow up your old paradigm. Fresh in from Kwanzaa. I have to let you know, the celebration went down. We were able to gather the community. If you check my timeline, I got video up. I got pictures up. Beginning at the end, it's important that we start getting out images like this so people we can start seeing where we are able to practice the principles. And today was the principle of unity. Those of you that's on the challenge, you know, for us, it's Kuji Chagalia. Today was a moja, and it was a great success. We had a packed room, seats in the house. The vendors was getting off. Dancers got off. The MCs of the night, Sister Earth and Brother Quojo, had a great time, family. If you wasn't there, I feel for you. Tomorrow night, Brother Malik Willoughby, MCing some of the other stuff that's gonna be popping off during the celebration. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Drum callers at 6 p.m. Who we got? We got the Lyndon McKinley High School Choir. We're giving away the Artist Award. Black Dance Organization gonna be performing. Aquaba, I said it right. Aquaba performance will be going on. It's Sid, an advanced party will be there. And once again, with the dance, and what kind of surprised me was that the babies got out there and they was kicking it. Sister Jill says, thank you everyone. Listen, foot into the organization piece of this part of Kwanzaa beautifully. And then on top of that, family, we was able to raise funds so that we would be able to have a nice, powerful care move. We raised almost all the money, but we still a little bit short, right? But we're gonna make sure the family eat. We're gonna make sure the family eat. Tarwee Village, Gye-Nyame Journey, and all the other organizations involved, right? Or better yet, we feed the village, because we can't feed the nation yet. The village, and it was a beautiful sight, man. All them babies running around, all those vendors doing. You seen economics working. Now we're gonna get the political arm of our stuff moving. We had the security piece moving. Brother Shechem, shouts out to him. He came up to me sharp as a tack. You know what I'm saying? Ready to do security. You know what I'm saying? Brother Quasi showed up, ready to get busy, family. Listen, we are building. We are on our way back. We are back on the cycle. What do I mean the cycle? If you look at every 20 years, there's an awakening. Family, this time, I'm in my first time, I was in my teens. The next time, I was in my 30s. Now I'm approaching my 50s. Family, I need y'all to understand. My 50s, I know all of the mistakes that I made in my 20s. I know all the mistakes that I made in my 30s. I know my stumbles and my bumbles in my 40s. This time around, family, we are going to flip this city upside down. See, at first, I was concerned about nation building. You know what? My elders been telling me a long time I wouldn't listen. You know what I'm saying? If you want to change the world, change where you are. And what we going to do? We're going to start with our village, and we're going to build outwards. And we're going to turn this city over. We're going to turn this state over. We're going to turn this country over, family. It's already happening. It's happening right before your eyes. And family, because I hope some of y'all are sharing this. Those of you that are coming, that are new to what we're doing. I know you might have been doing stuff on your own with no ideas. Don't approach me with no business ideas. Don't approach me with no nation builder ideas unless you got somebody that's been in the movement with me, in the struggle with me, that can speak up for you, because I got strangers coming up to me talking about doing some building in family. You know what? I'm gonna say this. We're living in a dangerous time. Going to start working with just anybody anymore. You got to be initiated. How do you get initiated? Living a life, family. Living a life. Having an elder that's going to sponsor you in, or a nation builder, or somebody that's been working in the movement for at least one cycle of the Nguzo Saba. And how long is that? Everybody that's surrounding me right now, everybody that's involved with this right now, have at least been through one full cycle of the Nguzo Saba. I know some of y'all ain't got the patience for that. Neither did I. That's why I had to leave for a little while. I had to go on away, and I had to get my time in places, getting my skills together. So now, now I know what to do in my city. And I can thank my elders for taking me through. I could thank my elders in other places that took me in. This is what we got to do, right? Some of y'all that are nation builders, some of y'all that have a reputation, y'all have to start. Because listen, this is how it goes, right? Nation builder, warrior. Now, in between elder and nation builder, there's a phase I call nation maintainer, because we can't just constantly build. We need somebody that can maintain the shit. Right? Jill is doing right now. So she in between the building and the maintaining shit. She right now, she maintaining this whole Kwanzaa piece, this whole cultural stabilizer piece. And this is what we need. You know what I'm saying? But now, we got to start training warriors and start having people up under us that we could start passing the information to and demonstrating, right? And then the warriors need to have younger people up under them. And we all need to work together. So an elder need to have a nation builder need to have a warrior work with the young people. The warrior and nation builder need to be able to work with the young people. And this is the structure that we're going to build our tribes on, family. Because a lot of y'all like, we don't, what's up with all this tribe talk, Brother Hatem? Then you better turn on your TV and watch what's going on in the world, because everybody tribing up. And now's our time, family. It's our time to get tribed up. It's our time to start being able to defend ourselves. It's our time to start being able to step up politically. It's our time to be able to start stepping up educationally. It's our time to start stepping up economically. And you do that through your tribes. You do that to your family, because we don't understand. We think that we can get rich and that's it, right? If you make your money, if you get rich, if you get political power, if you get social power, all those things are fragile if it's not built with a community. Because if you get wealthy, you're going to have people trying to shoot at you. You're going to have people trying to pull you down. You're going to have people trying to destroy you. You're going to have people borrowing off you. You're going to have people living off of you. You're going to have people that feel that you owe them. They always going to try to work to pull you down, family. So What we have to do is we have to rise up in all ways as a community. Why? Because it don't make no sense for one of us to be rich and everybody else to be broke. That's called serfdom, right? Well, more like, you know, like for example, we look at the whole situation. I don't like speaking on other man's shit, but you got certain famous individuals, right, who get a lot of money and then start fucking around with young girl. It's like the family is giving them away because this one rich individual out of this community is able to take advantage of that shit. Nah, family, that only happens when you allow one to rise up. We got to rise up as a community so that we can protect our own. We can do what we need to do for ourselves, right? So, hey, I want to thank everybody that came out to Kwanzaa. So tomorrow, what we got going on during the day? For the children from 2 to 4:30 at Driving Park Recreation Center, we have Kwanzaa activity children. Mama Fadia, Elder Greg, Miss Makita Pittman here to make sure there's some activities going on for our kids. Those of you who are free and can bring your kids or arrange for your young people to come from 2 to 4:30. Now, don't just bring them and drop them off. I know my peoples. I know my peoples, right? No, you come, you do a few things with them, step out for a second, but come back. At 4:30, we shutting it down because we got to get over here and get ready for Kwanzaa. It starts again tomorrow at 6 p.m. Drum call. We was running a little bit late today, but we still went down without a hitch. And even if it was a hitch, you know what? Because the collective is so tight, you wouldn't even know it, right? I got the book, but unfortunately for my Daily Toast family, y'all gonna be upset with me because the ad is not in here. The wrong one was posted up, but it's all good because it all went to make sure that Kwanzaa went over well, and we have another chance next year, which means I'll be able to put together a bigger list. Still have access to the list that we have right now. So in the morning, we still got our list, family. Toast, make sure you get on the list. This can be part of the 21-day challenge for you, right? Challenge is called the Nguzo Saba 21-day challenge. For 21 days, you're working on yourself at least 2 hours a day. For 21 days, you're making sure you're doing breathing exercises. For 21 days, you're making sure you're getting the proper amount of water. For 21 days, you're making sure you're eating a culturally appropriate diet. Go to the African Heritage Diet, family. Look it up. Then for 21 days, you're doing some type of movement. And then on top of that, you're moving your mind. How? We're pouring libations to our ancestors. We're connected to something bigger than ourselves, right? And then on top of that, mentally, we're changing the days of the week. So no longer are we saying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No, we're taking possession of that shit. We're discovering the week just like Columbus discovered America. We're moving in, we're taking that shit, and we don't care. I don't care. I don't care about your feelings, right? It's no longer Monday for me. It's a mojo. I've been doing it. Kuji Chagalia, like today, it's Kuji Chagalia, family. I'm not playing with this, right? Because if we don't liberate our minds, it will do no good to liberate our bodies because we'll get into the position that our enemies are in and do the same shit, liberating our minds. Why we here tonight? Why, Brother Hatim? Because we're going to talk about the folktale. And the folktale I got for y'all today goes in many different directions. The folktale talks about the trickster. The folktale talks about folktale. The folktale I'm working on tonight, it talks about in a community. The folktale talks about focusing your mind and focusing other people's minds. You might not be able to get all that out of it, family. I'm telling you, from years and years of looking at these folktales, you will be surprised. Our ancestors compacted into these tales, right? So look, I'm gonna give y'all a second, get your drinks on, you know what I'm saying? Put the kids to bed, because it's about to go down. It's gonna be some cussing. It's gonna be some harsh talk tonight, right? It's gonna be, hey, listen, Get you some drink. If you need to, go and get your libations. You know what I'm saying? Don't do too much because you're going to get up in the morning because we doing the daily toast at 5:15 in the morning. You there, right? Those of you that started the challenge, hopefully you started yesterday, but the best time to start the challenge, family, and we all can do it together. Like I said, if I get 1, 2, 3 of y'all together, and y'all want to do the daily challenge, you want to do the 21 challenge with me, the best time to start. 21 days. You don't have exercises to do, Brother Hatim, I got some exercises for you, some simple ones depending on what level of fitness you are at. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, hey, we can work it. If you ain't got your own movements to do, we can work it from where you are. From being able to sit on the bed to being able to walk or even to run, family, because you got to invest your time in your body. All right? Got to invest time in your body because if, like I tell y'all, like the number 5, we talk about the number 5. In Gye-Nyame, number 5 is freedom, but also in the system that we use for the 21-day challenge are the 5 parts of your being that you have to be in, that you have to bring in balance. Mental, emotional, spiritual, and look at that important thing right there. That's the physical, family. Now, when any of these are out of balance, the hand is not complete. Look at that. You don't have a complete hand. But when this one is gone, it's hard to pick up any damn thing. You can lose the pinky and still be able to pick up something. You can lose, but if you got your thumb, the opposable thumb, it opposes the other finger and it opposes the other fingers and make it possible for you to pick stuff up. That's that physical body, family. If it's not together, we are not together. Some of us become so spiritual that we forget about this. Some of us become so emotional that we forget about this. All balance. What happens when we bring all 5 parts of ourselves together? We're able to form a fist and punch the pressure right in this goddamn mouth. Those problems in our lives right in the mouth. You understand what I'm saying, family? Oh, we're not playing with this. But look how good that book looks. You know what I'm saying? It's the Kwanzaa book. Sister Jill put in the work. Look at that. Raising those funds. Look at that. Each one of those pages is money that's raised and people that's invested in you. Community. Family. Now it's time for us to take it to a whole nother level. It don't need to be just a book. It need to be a monument that we put somewhere for our ancestors in Columbus on a piece of land that we own. What y'all think about that? What y'all think about that? We're not that far from that. That's not impossible. That's not hard for us to do. So before we get into the folktale, I need to remind you that you are now listening to Gye-Nyame. I'm your host, Brother Hatim, and right now we are on Folktales for Grown Folks. It is the heart of a simple production where we strive to blow up your old paradigm. I got the call-in number. I don't know what is wrong with my speaker. Man, listen, family, but you call in at 614-556-4535. I'm going to read the story. I would love for some of y'all to get involved because Brother Shaka usually comes on and something happened to where I ended up accidentally, and I need to stress that, accidentally blocking him because I was trying to put something up, put it on the screen, but they got these buttons all crazy. So I'm going to invite Shaka in because usually he around, and I don't want him to think that Brother Hatim is up to no good. Look at that. They won't even allow me to pull him up. Look at that. Wow. Wow. So I got to find a way to invite Shaka back in. I don't know how to do that. Whoever had this problem before, please hit me up. Let me know. Hasbury. Send Shaka a link, please. Somebody share it on your timeline and get Shaka up. It's SHAKK. But they ain't even bringing them up. Woo, Facebook. Damn, Facebook. How y'all gonna do me? I need Brother Shaka on the line. Somebody, 614-556-4535. Hit me up. Hit me up. Let's have this conversation. So y'all ready for the story? Y'all ready for the story? Throw some thumbs up. I can wait. I ain't got nowhere to go tomorrow. But Kwanzaa. All right, come on now. Y'all ready for the folktale? Let me see some thumbs. Nobody don't want to do the folktales today? Go to your block and unblock him. But I don't know how to do that on the thing. But let me go. Is it a block? Is it a block piece on it? And then my Facebook is moving slow and shit. I don't know what's going on. Uh-oh, thumbs up, thumbs up. All right, let's do it. Let me say this, family. I need y'all to get ready for this one, right? This folktale right here is a liberation. I want y'all to really think about it. Put your mind into it, right? This is called wisdom mind. I need you to shake off the dirt off of this one and really get down into it. And don't be scared to call in. 556-4535. Some of the shocker, hit them up. Somebody that's friend with Brother Kwame, hit them up. Right? As a matter of fact, even before I do that, let me just go on and start inviting some people in. Invite people in too. So I'm gonna just invite people in because maybe one of my people out there got Sister Jill already on here. This sister, okay, let's get them all. Let's get them all. Brother Anubis, I ain't seen Anubis in a couple of days. I ain't seen Anubis out there. Well, you know, I'm inviting. Oh yeah. I'm inviting some. I'm inviting some heavy hitters, right now. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get them up in here. You know, people that's been coming in. You know, Lady J too. Let's get some. Let's see if Kwesi Ashton will come in. Out of Milwaukee up in here. Let's see about my brother. Let's get some of these people up in here. Let's see if we get the traveler up in here. Now, so let me go into the folktale real quick. The lion, the wolf, and the fox. Listen closely because the words get kind of confusing. A lion, growing old, lay sick in his cave. All the beasts came to visit their king, fox. The wolf, therefore, thinking that he had a capital opportunity, accused the fox to the lion of not paying any respect to him, rule over them all coming to visit him. At that very moment, the fox came in and heard these last words of the wolf. The lion roaring against him, the fox sought an opportunity to defend himself and said, and who of all those who have come to you have benefited you so much as I, who have traveled from place to place in every direction and have sought and learnt from the physicians the means of healing you? The lion commanded him immediately to tell him the cure. When he replied, you must flay a wolf alive and wrap his skin yet warm around you. The wolf was at once taken and flayed. The fox, turning to him, said with a smile, he turned to the wolf, you should have moved your master not to ill, but to goodwill. I don't think y'all heard that one. I be having all these people talking about gangster shit. I be having all these people talking about doing shit. Tough talk on Facebook, right? And in a kid's, what people would consider a kid's folktale, gangster was done. Some real thinking, quick-witted thinking, overcoming obstacles, breaking through type thought was just demonstrated. And I don't even know if people caught it. I'm gonna read that one more time for y'all. Growing old, lay sick in his cave. All the beasts came to visit their king, except the fox. The wolf, therefore, thinking that he had a capital opportunity, accused the fox to the lion of not paying any respect to him, who had rule over them all and of not coming to visit him. At that very moment, the fox came in and heard these last words of the wolf. The lion roaring out in rage against him. The fox saw the opportunity to defend himself and said, and who of all those who have come to you have benefited you so much as I, who have traveled from place to place in every direction? I have sought and learnt from the physicians the means of healing you. And to him immediately to tell him the cure. When he replied, listen, you must flay a wolf alive and wrap his skin yet warm around you. Once taken and flayed, thereon to him said with a smile, you should have moved your master not to ill, but to good will. Call in line 614-556-4535. This is called Wisdom Mind and Family. And if you don't pull some wisdom about this one, it won't be my fault. Right? Because this one right here is probably what some of y'all need. This one right here, this one talks about backbiting. This one talks about being quick with your mind. This one talks about the trickster energy, order. This one talks about directing your mind and directing the minds of others. So I'm gonna go through it since nobody calling in, right? Jackie, I see you out there. Joe Berry, I see you out there. Sacred Aspirant, I see you out there. Delian Abdul Razik, I see you. I see you today too. Kimberly Newton, I see you. Aichi, I see you. J Love Benton, I see you. Jermaine Richardson, I see you. Tara Waters. And of course, Miss Jill Jackson. Family, listen, we need to talk about this one. Listen, I want y'all to think about what just transpired in this one paragraph story. All the stories that I done read y'all from here, right? Because after we get out of ASAP, it ain't gonna be no more one paragraph stories. We're gonna be having our own folk tales that we're gonna have to be working through. Oh man, my daughter's on here. Shouts out to Miss Yolanda Brooks. Shouts out. This one right here, right? This one right here. This one is the truth. For those that's new, I'm gonna read it one more time. Then we're gonna go into the discussion. Call in line 614-556-4535. Once again, the number is 614-556-4535. A lion growing old lay sick in his cave. All the beasts came to visit their king, except the fox. The wolf, therefore, thinking that he had a capital opportunity, used the fox, paying any respect to him who had the rule over them all and not coming to visit. At that came in and heard these last words of the wolf. The lion roaring out in rage against him. The fox had an opportunity to defend himself and said, and who of all those who have come to you have benefited you so much as I? Place to place in every direction and have sought and learnt from the physicians the means of healing you. The lion commanded him immediately to tell him the cure when he replied, listen up, you must flay a wolf and wrap his skin yet warm around you. The wolf, taken and flayed, fox, turning to him, said with a smile that the wolf, your master not to ill. God damn it. And some of y'all work in job environments like that, and this shit then flew right over your head. Let's start from the beginning. 614-556-4535. At any given time, feel free to jump in. Here we go. Old lady sick in this cave. So now, Basically, what they tell you, a lion, boom, boom, boom. We know the lion is growing old. He's lying sick in his cave. Now, what is the cave? The cave is his office. The cave is his house, place of his business, or the place of your business. The lion is lying sick. The lion is dying from something that really can't be cured. Old age, right? All of his kingdom, king, is gathered around him. What is the lesson in that? Even in nature, family, is there order at your job? Is there order with your community life? There's an order. That's the first lesson that comes out of this goddamn book right here. There's order. You know what I'm saying? If they organize themselves, women should be able to organize themselves. Right? The lion is the head honcho. The lion is the boss. Right? Lion and the cave dying. All the beasts came to visit their king, except the fox. Right? Everybody coming to visit. What is this? Because a lot of us don't understand this, right? When our elders said, like I just got done telling you, I was breaking down the order of how a village should be. You got the elders and you got a council of elders. Then you got the nation builders, right? The nation builders are the wisdom. The elders are the wisdom of the community. Nation builders are the ones that put that wisdom to action. Up under them, you got the warriors, right? Then up under the warriors, you got the young ones that's learning and coming into the craft. Right, family? Nation building, us building our communities. It's a craft. It's an art. You know what I'm saying? And it's a business, right? So we got to make sure that we get in the generations up under us, right? This is what the lion set up. The lion got a corporation. The lion got a business. The lion got a family. The lion got a tribe. When the leader of the tribe gets sick, go and pay respect. But the fox, and we're gonna see what's going on here, right? Obviously, what I'm seeing right now, that I hope some of y'all are seeing, there's a power struggle within this kingdom. People know that the king is dying, and what usually happens at that point in time, you have a power struggle at the top. Who's next in line? That is the wolf. But for some reason, the wolf, therefore, thinking that he had a capital opportunity. Now, what type of capital opportunity? Because if he move his competition out the way, if he get his competition to look bad in his eye, the promotion is his. He's the next in line. Many of y'all be going through office politics. Listen, in these folk tales, our ancestors have taught us how to deal with all situations. We thinking we passing these stories on to kids. We're jumping over. We're not looking and listening to Brer Rabbit. We're not listening to Brother Fox. We're not listening to Anansi's tales. We're not listening to Aesop fables, because we think that these business books that these motherfuckers done put together is better than the wisdom that came from our ancestors. But the bottom line is that our ancestors prepared us for everything with these stories. But in our arrogance, in us not going to check on our elders, in us not going to check on the books that some of our ancestors left us, we jumped over that. We like the fox at this point in time. We out gallivanting around, and we're looking for other things rather than investing our time in the wisdom that we have. We got gold that we're standing on, family. We got wisdom that we're standing on, family. We got wisdom. Some of y'all are still blessed and still got your elders in your house. Trying to move them out to old folks' home. Not because they're hard to take care of, because you just don't want them around. You've been taught. I'm gonna get into a text that I got from one of my brothers. Right? I'm gonna get it. I ain't gonna say his name, but I got a text from one of my brothers asking me a question, and I'm going to bring up the question so that we could deal with it. But I'm gonna use this folk tale to help you understand, because today is the day of unity. Here right now is demonstrating unity, but right now the patriarch or the matriarch, because it didn't say male or female line, is passing away. Many of our families went through this shit, right? Those of us that had a strong matriarch, a strong patriarch, passed away. A lot of times there was some struggle like this: the fox and the wolf. Now, if you remember in Aesop fables, there's always beef between the fox and the wolf. If you look in rabbit tails, between them. So there's beef here, right? We know that the wolf can just straight up beat the fox. A fox is physically in a lesser position, but mentally the fox is sharp. Except when it comes to the rabbit, rabbit is the sharpest out of them all, right? And our ancestors set it up in that way so that we understood. Because I want y'all to understand, family, are in is the same position that some historians tell us that Aesop was in. Aesop was the wolf. Aesop was the underdog. Aesop had to use his brains to get up out of the situation he was in. He was enslaved. And he had to use his wisdom to get out of that. And see, a lot of us are enslaved, and we're not using the wisdom. And I ain't gonna call it common sense, because for some reason common sense done faded away. So you need to crack open some of them old fairy tale books, some of those fables and African fairy tales, and get into your cultural wisdom, family. Right? So the wolf is scheming on the fox. The wolf, therefore, thinking that he had a capital opportunity, and some of us did this shit before. Fox, to the line of not paying any respect to him. In the moment, the fox came in and heard these last words of the wolf. How many of y'all ever been in a situation where you walked in a room, was trying to badmouth you? Now, this right here, I'm about to show y'all how to handle that, right? But listen, let's look at the fox. The fox is walking into a situation where he got two animals that could tear him limb from limb, and he got to go up in here now. Yeah. And he has to be quick on his toes. This is why I say the 224 self-help process. You spend 2 hours a day on you, sharpening your mind, sharpening your body, sharpening your intuition, your connection, sharpen your emotional balance, because the fox could have came in and got emotional like some of us. The fox could have came in and tried to get physical like some of us. The fox could have came in and just tried to get all smart with his mind. The fox could have came in and just tried, you know what I'm saying? The fox could have just came in and got devoured with any other thing but what he did. What he did was, I want y'all to think about this. What he did was, he switched it. He thought about it. Whether he told the king a lie or not, we don't know. But what he told him was, hold on. Out in rage against him, the fox sought an opportunity to defend himself. So the fox let the lion get his shit off. Let the lion get all the energy off. Let the boss go on and speak his piece. Because of course he want to be heard, because now the wolf is playing towards his ego. Don't come in here to do it. See, and we got to be watching individuals like this in our community as well as outside our community, because this is how it goes down. People often will try to use those higher up than you to destroy you by going and using and building up their ego, right? And saying that you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You the boss. They out there doing that. That's not what they supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? You're always trying to outshine everybody. You know what I'm saying? So the wolf was doing some backbiting, trying to solidify his opportunity to move up in the ranks by using the fox. At least he thought he was. But let's look at this fox. Fox saw an opportunity to defend himself and said, and who of all those who have come to you and have benefited you so much as I? Now, When you're dealing with somebody that's based on ego, somebody that's based on just making dough, somebody, you know, that, I mean, really, this is just saying everybody want to be built up. So now, the fox left a question in the lion's mind. The fox is guiding the lion's mind. The fox is in control of his intuition. He's in control of his mental. He's in control of his emotional. He's in control of his spirit. He's in control of his body. Family, you only get that way by practicing. You could be calm just like the fox, because the fox is in a situation, he's in a situation very similar to our people. This is why a lot of us have learned to maintain our control, the control of our body, the control of our looks, because in certain situations, if we reacted, if the fox would have reacted in a way to defend himself, if the fox would have reacted in an emotional way, if the fox would have tried to talk back, the fox was at a disadvantage. See, sometimes some of us need to learn how to shut up. Part of strategy sometimes is like like in chess. Sometimes in chess you learn that sometimes you need to move forward, sometimes you need to move back. And same thing in sports. Same thing in combat. Sometimes you need to retreat. And sometimes you need to move forward, family. And sometimes some of us don't know the difference. Be on 10 and just move forward all the time. Is somebody on the line? Sound like somebody on the line. Jay, how long you been here?
I'm listening.
I'm sorry, but hey, you know how it is, girl. You can't on the journey. We gonna let you know. First off, this is Lady J. We want to give her a round of applause. That's right. Suck it up, girl. Suck it up. That's right. Now I'm gonna be the lion on you, you fox. I got a question for you, baby. Why wasn't you at Kwanzaa?
I am dealing with some medical issues.
Oh, okay. You better come some ambrosia. Ambrosia.
Come get some ambrosia.
Come get some ambrosia, baby. Come get you some ambrosia. I got a few bottles of that Death Eater open. You want them?
So I did have my though my coworkers kind of frowned upon me, I did have one of my students there. He must have been a doctor in their home country. Bring me some things from him on the last day of school that could it's helped with the swelling that went down, the inflammation. So we'll see.
Yeah.
People said that I should not have accepted this. I trusted that her father and even her may know something I don't know.
Question, baby. Question. I got a question for you. You did get this student a good grade, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I just hope you gave it. You know what I'm just saying?
She is not getting a good grade. No, she is not.
Oh, baby. Yeah, I agree with your co-workers.
She is not getting a good grade, but it's complicated why she's not getting a good grade. Right. If I could grade her on some other things, she would be getting an A+. But
ain't it messed up that some of those other things don't count no more? But hey, hold on. Brother Sifa says, sorry, I've been in the fox's position before. That's why I stay in my lane. Build with those who build with me. See, because now it ain't just about, because I'm gonna just say this, bro. I don't think it's just about staying in your lane. Actually, let's keep it at that. Staying in your lane. But then we got to understand that there's a whole road. So we got to make sure that we're building, because one of the things that I'm noticing is that a lot of us, we start building with people that's in the same lane as us. We need motherfuckers in the lane. We in different lanes. We need the other side of the expressway. We need the whole damn expressway. We need those that's playing the guardrails. We need, you know what I'm saying? So when we start talking about unity, a perfect model for unity, if you ever need a picture of unity, the finger is not trying to do what the thumb do. The thumb is not trying to do what the brain do. The brain is not trying to do what the lungs do. The lungs is not trying to do what the heart do. You know what I'm saying? The only time we have problems in our body is when cells start trying to act contrary to what they're supposed to be doing. It's good to stay in our lane, but we need to make sure that when we build it, we build it completely. This means that as a people, we're covering our back. And what do I mean by that? A lot of us talk about going to war, but a lot of us don't think about the logistics of going to war. What are the logistics, Brother Hatem? The logistics is how, when you go to war, how are you gonna get your damn food? You can't talk about going to war if you can't maintain a line to get the food to you. This, in history, it shows you over and over again what happens when the military goes out and cannot get the food. Bring it, and then I bring it back to the story. Here's a story. Napoleon wanted to go to Russia. Everybody told him, Russia in the wintertime. Do not go to Russia in the wintertime. Napoleon went to Russia and got caught up in the wintertime. So Napoleon figured this was his plan. I'm going to conquer town by town. After I conquered town by town, we will raid the town, we will get all the food. What the Russians did, they forced him to march deeper and deeper into Russia, because every time he marched down, and they would keep moving him deeper into it, to eventually he got caught by the wind. And by the time it was time for him to go back, because he couldn't pursue him no farther because it was getting too cold and getting too muddy, they whooped his ass all the way back to France. This has happened over and over again. So when we're thinking about war and we're thinking about doing the things as far as nation building, we got to think about having people in all lanes. We need politicians. We need lawyers. We need businessmen. We need entrepreneurs. We need teachers. We need police officers. We need mayors. God damn it. We need scientists.
I 100% agree. I 110% agree.
A lot of people went out on that. Joe, I got you. I got a few bottles left. See me tomorrow. I will get it to you unless sister say she want them. You know what I'm saying? But then I got some brewing on the caramel. This batch should be ready by the caramel. People gonna be able to drink on me. You know what I'm saying? But let's get back to the story. For those that are just catching up, we are on a story called The Lion, the Wolf, and the Fox. Look up Aesop Fables so you can catch up with us. The lion roared out in rage against him. The fox saw the opportunity to defend himself and said, "And who of all those who have come to you have benefited you so much as I?" So first off, now, when you're dealing with a boss, when you're dealing with especially somebody that's coming off on you on some ego stuff, family, right? If other people is feeding his ego, and how do you do that? You feed it in a way that can move you into a position where now you in power, because I want you to understand the power dynamics, because at first the power dynamics was working towards the wolf, but the fox walked in and understood what was going on. The fox didn't have any doubt in his heart, because he knows that just like him, the wolf is a carnivorous animal. What does that mean? See, a lot of us, we don't understand that we're fucking with carnivores. When we are operating in business, in politics, when we are operating in economics, understand the realm of carnivores. What does that mean? You are in a business where you are in a place where individuals build up who they are by the destruction. And as Black people, we got to understand that this country is built up on the destruction of us. Forward from the sacrifices that we make, from sacrificing us. I need you to understand there are whole small towns of white folks that are employed to keep your cousins and your brothers in prison. We could drive an hour outside of Columbus, and I could show you 2 or 3 of them on the way outside the town. This is real fact, family. We're dealing with a carnivorous of people, a country, and we have been taught to be carnivores too. Business, in politics, in economics, you know what I'm saying? Even in some of these educational institutions, people build up their careers by how many throats they done cut, how many backs people they done stabbed in. You dealing with honorless.
You are on fire tonight, Hatem. You are on fire tonight, and you have spoken nothing but the truth.
All right, girl, just
nothing less than the truth.
I do not. I'm going to have to start speaking some lines, because when you start agreeing with me, I'm thinking there's something about to go down.
No,
I'm just joking.
I am telling you tonight, Hatem, definitely on one, and you are speaking nothing but 100%. The only way that you cannot look at the game and say it's not fair, so I just decide not to play. You have to play the game. So when you say that we are carnivores, we've been built up, and that's kind of what's in it was innate, not even innately, but within us. I agree.
Hey, I mean, because
I 100% agree.
See, because you got to think about this. We come from not just because we like to just deal on the agricultural piece, but even when we became agricultural, what we did was we did start growing food, but we also domesticated animals so that we didn't have to go out and hunt the animals.
Family. And hunt the animals. You no longer had a danger. You could domesticate your animals.
Right. So you wouldn't have to go out and hunt now, and that made it safer for us. But the same concept still lives on. Family, understand that the only way can build up and get to a point where America is pressing and holding another group down to build this economy.
It's called survival of the fittest, right?
That's what they call it.
It's called survival of the fittest, and then they also say things like only the strong survive. Only the strong survive. So that gives another hint. Exactly what you're saying. I do 100% agree, which is why when this is kind of off center, left center, right center, but that's why I say when we have this argument about racism, and who's capable of having racism, who can exhibit racism, I say, well, why would you not ascribe something to me and my people? Why is it impossible that me and my people might be racist? Because at its surface, it is nothing at all that I could assume that would be detrimental about that.
I have to use my superpowers to get in on the conversation tonight.
Wait, hold on. I owe Brother Shaka apology, and I keep on saying it was an accident, and I know he about to get on here and accuse me of some shit. But brother, I've been looking for you. I got people on the line right now that I told to reach out to you to tell you to call in. Push the button. I'm trying to figure out how to fix it. So before you even start on that shit, man, I did not do that on purpose. But go ahead.
Go ahead, sister. No. Go ahead, sister. I was just chiming in to let y'all know I was here.
We know you here.
How y'all know I was here?
That's Mr. Shaka. Just that much right there.
So
is that it behooves us to understand that as a people, And when discussing our progression, that it may not, it is not all negative on its surface to be racist.
You're absolutely right. Well, I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean.
We all need to understand. We all need to understand what she means. So break it down, because we need to understand this shit. But go ahead.
Let me say this. I used to own snakes, right? Captive born reptiles. These reptiles were conditioned to eat dead, meaning frozen rats or rabbits, however big they were. And in case they didn't have the natural instinct to strike, to eat. But as soon as they were called to kill one time, whole demeanor. Now they have that instinct to kill, to eat. And so I guess the point is, in the correlation between us as human beings and the way that we behave as carnivores, is that when you got the taste for blood, that takes the game to a totally different level. Someone who's in the game, who eat dead, they have no idea what they're up against
at all.
Exactly.
So those of us that come from a nonprofit mind state, those of us that come from a peaceful mind state, when boardrooms, when we go into these political offices, when we start trying to start businesses, and we don't understand why people are coming at us in the way they are, why is everything cost? We don't understand. What this story is telling us is that we need to understand that we're playing with carnivores. And then on top of this, we have to keep it all the way real, family. If you was running anything, if you had a business right now and you had different people competing to take over your business, likely to pass it down to? Would you pass it down to one of your children, or would you pass it down to some stranger who just happened to come up? We have to be honest. We're not being honest. We talk about what's not fair and shit. But hold on.
Can I chime in with something?
Yeah, but hold on. Let me say this. Somebody else from Columbus, could you introduce yourself, or you just listening in?
This is Brother Safe Neighborhood. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for calling in, brother. I know you're going to have something to say, so when you get ready, chime in. But Lady J, it's on you.
Let everybody else finish
okay, go ahead.
Chime in.
I often share this story, and you all can take it, and do what you please. But some years ago, I was doing some type of blog talk, and the conversation came on to role models, and we were speaking about role models in the Black community. I was told by many people who were calling from all over the country, different places, that my role model at that time, this was many years ago, but it would have been a rapper. Because these numerous rappers who these people felt were the voices, maybe not in their actions of leaders, but in their voice and in their volume of Black America. So the next show, I posted several pictures that I have searched on the web, right? Mm-hmm. And I came up with these memes. So I posted these memes that I did not myself create, but that were created to say these were our Black role models. Happened that Barack Obama these role models, right? So I posted this picture knowing that I myself, it is not right for me to share my private political participation where I identify. I don't publish that, right? So I post this picture and I'm being unbiased because again, I found this on the internet and people attack me and they accuse me of being certain things. But at the end of the day, I said that this was exact example of how people had expected so much out of politics. Today, it was nothing more than politics, right? Many tricks. Some people had vested and expected so much. Some others had not. And some others had known that this might have been just a symbol of something that could be seen as Black pride. Maybe not this idea that this miraculous change could happen, politics, right? But it was a symbol that symbolized so much more. And so many people did not get this. And so when I posted this, I had people who attacked me, attacked my character, this, attacked everything about me only because I was saying one thing. I was saying that this is a role model, someone who exemplifies or gives an example of what you could aspire to be. Some of these people who are in your media, right, in your mainstream media, who are said to be leaders by some at all, right?
Word.
This is someone who we could aspire. But and again, I argued that because I think that these were politics, many tricks that would be put upon us. I didn't have any expectations, right?
Word.
But I just see, this is just something that I see when I look at my people.
Lady J, I got a question for you. The past few days, it's been obvious in the conversations how leaders with our media have been attacked. Tavis Smiley, so forth. I was just going through my Facebook feed, and there's a thread going on about how Malana Karenga, about his personal convictions and something not outlandish, but I guess it's something regarding women being unlawfully detained or whatnot. Are y'all familiar with this at all?
Yeah. For a long time.
So the question is that when it comes to these types of, and they're attacking the institution of Kwanzaa of Karenga's personal convictions. Where do y'all stand with that?
Who, me?
Both you, Hot Tim, and Lady J.
My thing is, family, I'm like, who can't use unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility? You know what I'm saying? I mean, because if these are things that we can't use, let's throw them to the side with Karenga. Because now, if I take Karenga out of Kwanzaa, will Kwanzaa disappear? You understand what I'm saying? And see, because oftentimes the way a message is delivered, we get caught up in the messenger rather than the message itself. Kwanzaa was a message.
You know.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You know what I hate to cut you off, Tim, but something that I have noticed amongst folks that call themselves educated, period, is a miscommunication, a misunderstanding at its foundation, right? I could talk to people who call themselves educated and they still don't get the foundations of Kwanzaa. They think of it as an African, as if Africans somewhere on some united front in Africa is celebrating Kwanzaa. They don't even get that piece. They don't get that piece. So in order for people to examine this individual and equate it or weigh it on the foundation of the, of this celebration, that's hypocrisy. I mean, that's just it doesn't make any sense, because you have so many people who don't even know about its foundation.
Anyway,
so how could you judge?
I want to bring up in that. Well, Sister Miss CeeLo says, when the movement becomes a person, you will always lose. You understand what I'm saying? Because this is the issue, right? See, because my sister Jackie puts it best. She called Kwanzaa a cultural stabilizer. Now, the cultural stabilizer, the origins are in question because the person that brought the message. Like, boom, like I said, I'm looking at the principles. I never looked at Maulana Karenga. As a matter of fact, many of my elders for a long time was dogging Maulana Karenga, but they still every year, because people with black folks was getting together behind Kwanzaa, they supported Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa has absolutely nothing to do with Maulana Karenga. You know what I'm saying? Christine Lowe says MLK, for example, he was the civil rights movement. A lot of people believe that, and they start believing, they start following him. When he dies, all of a sudden it gives everybody an excuse to sit their ass down. You're trying to understand, family, this is bigger. This day and the next 6 days after is bigger than one person, right? Because I'm one to say, like, for example, I do a lot of writing, right? And anything that comes out that's good that people like, I say it came through me, not because of me. It came through me. My ancestors shot it through me. And I'm saying that the ancestors, for some reason, chose Maulana Karenga to bring this idea forward. At that time, there was a lot of fucked up black men. You know what I'm saying? This was a man that came up through oppression. This is a man who formed Kwanzaa out of an organization called the United Slaves. The fuck was? Of course he had some mental issues. The fuck? You know what one of my elders told me a long time ago? Long before Nomo wasn't able to walk, Nomo had a handicap sticker in his car. This was his mind state. He came up out the struggle. He was still in the struggle. I said, Nomo, you ain't got no problems. Why you got a handicap sticker in your car? Black man in America, nigga. I deserve to have a handicap. I need every advantage I could get. Is what our people came from. So of course people going to see, because this is the issue, right? We have these so-called educated individuals, and they have been educated in the ways of the wolf. Especially because I want y'all to think about this. In this story, the wolf never, even when the lion is about to fall over, the wolf never leaps upon the lion and kills him and takes power. He's too cowardly to do that. So what he's going to do, he's going to get the lion to destroy the next level of competition for himself. And a lot of these people that's sitting around and intellectualizing are fucking wolves. They're too weak to take them out themselves, so they're trying to divert other people from participating in a cultural stabilizer. As a matter of fact, some of the same people that are going up and talking about Maulana Karenga, putting the argument on Maulana Karenga rather than looking at the value of Kwanzaa, are some of the same individuals, right, that are leading our people in the wrong direction. Are some of the same people that say, look, we ain't from Africa. They're some of the same people that say we have no connection to Africa. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that can utter that,
and will argue it, and will look for a platform to argue that piece. People will fall into that piece. That's ridiculous.
It's not only ridiculous, it's dangerous. you something. Just from my small study of psychology. Press anything that you repress. There's no way that you could be a black person in America like something else, right? Act like something else.
You know what?
And not
you
have
know what I did?
something explode back on your ass. Go ahead.
I did something, Tim, and I just do this right now. It seems like an experiment, right? People that I don't celebrate Christmas, right?
Right.
And I watch their reaction. I watch as it becomes something religious. I watch how they try to say, you know, I'm automatically Jehovah's Witness. There's a lot of things that come up when people are trying to figure out what is my justification for not celebrating Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a political protest, right? It's a political protest, and I just refuse what I deem as a pagan holiday, a consumer holiday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I watch people scramble, and again, I've already watched them make assumptions. So again, I've watched over the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as we go into now, we have so we had this thing at my school where they, you know, it's all about Christmas. It's all about Christmas. Me, someone who doesn't celebrate Christmas, I'm kind of on the outskirts. So I do this thing, and I celebrate all these different holidays within these different cultures, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, I just watch as people try to figure out what it is. These people, they say, you got to tell them the favorite part about your holiday, right? They're talking about Christmas. You got to tell them the favorite part. So I'm already feeling like you're going to make me celebrate Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I talk about how New Year's is my favorite holiday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I give them the history of the Emancipation Proclamation, according to when it was actually signed, when it went into effect, what it meant, and why I choose to celebrate New Year's as my Independence Day. They excluded me, Hatim, from the whole activity. They didn't even let me participate in the activity. Celebrate Christmas.
But you know what? I mean, but because
do you see this?
Right, because that first off, you're coming with a different mind state. Because this one piece, this how you know a lot of times people who have been brainwashed, because even people that supposedly are conscious, we get brainwashed too. You can't discuss new ideas, right? You might have a problem. Comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody's coming up with something new. Because really, the whole piece you just broke down about the whole New Year's thing, I'm kind of intrigued. Whoa. We might need to have a whole show on that shit.
If you read if you read our ancestors' autobiographies, they all shunned upon Christmas, and they talked about how the freedom that the slaves were given at Christmas, and about the part where they were influenced. They were kind of led towards drinking, spending all of the money that they had. They would not have anything, but they would buy these gifts and these fireworks. Ancestors who were writing these autobiographies, they all spoke about Christmas, and they spoke about New Year's. They spoke about how New Year's, that's when we celebrated, because we were still off. And that was all real true. Independence Day. I read about it over and over and over again.
Girl, now you're ruining the show. We could do a whole show on that, because we could pull up the documentation and read. You know what I'm saying? We had a show. I just said save it for another show. But hey, we got Asifa.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yes, sir, brother.
Thank you for your
Can you hear
patience.
me?
Yes, sir. We hear you good. They can hear you on
Okay,
Facebook
good.
too.
Hotel family. Yeah. Hi, Hotel family. How you doing? I was just chiming in. First of all, I want to say thank you and congratulations for putting a show out there that's going to be informative and educational for the people to listen to. Brother Hatim, and me and you go way back
Yes,
since the
sir.
early '80s.
Yes, sir.
And Baba Noma is our great teacher, and a lot of the brothers in the Apple set. I want to pay homage to them brothers
He said the
and
Afro
some of the
set.
brothers. Yes, sir.
Y'all, those
Brother
that don't
Nomo.
know, you better find out about that Afro set. But go ahead, brother.
Happy Kwanzaa, everybody.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Say this, that I was just listening in, and we got to realize that we got to be conscious of the assimilation process that we went through. That we have been assimilated as a people, and we've been putting this process all along that we had to reverse the assimilation in one way or the other. The Kwanzaa is a process of taking us out of that assimilation.
Word.
If we look at the principles of what it means, which is the African tradition. I reflect on it a lot because, I ask myself every day that, how do we get our people to our culture, our way of life, our African culture, our way of life, our indigenous autonomous way of life. And respectfully, when I came to the millennium over there, I seen all that y'all were doing. I was like, wow. In the institution, you're teaching these children the principles. Yeah, I was very impressed. I want to commend you on that, brother. You and the family over there at Millennium. Because over the years of our education and teaching and working with these youth, we have to set up the structure, the infrastructure. I can remember when me and the South was working with them, up an infrastructure and a structure for them to come in the educational process, for them to own and understand what leadership was.
Word.
From a cultural mindset.
Word.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And in order to do that, we got to learn to first of our own personal naps, our own personal egos, and put ourselves in the mindset of how these children would because they're fresh into this. They're new minds into this, and they have to be nurtured and groomed. They become leaders within themselves. Passage. You went through that rite of passage.
Word.
And so we have to set up the structure of the rite of passage and put them in proper leadership. Give them that type of way of life, for them to adhere to that way of life. And I want to say this, that principles and the corrective guidance and education is what make good leaders. And we can make effective people so they know how to delegate leadership and put in our lane. We got to have people who are in leadership positions delegate leadership to those who understand their role in that leadership. And then understand that they got to operate out of humility, humbleness, not to be so arrogant, not to be, everybody has a role to play, a position to play. And and don't get me wrong, when I said I build with those who build with me, I'm only saying this to say that the reason why I do build with those who build with me, because I'm on my ship. I'm on a different lane than a lot of brothers and sisters. Sisters don't respect you for your lane. It's all right to be in your own lane. And it's all right to contribute what you're going to contribute in that lane.
That's you know what? That's what I can do best. But I believe I can just help people build all over the place. building, the more building that occurs, the more chance that we got to bring down, the more chance that we got to build up the infrastructure. Oh, I can't. I would rather. I'm one of those people. If you tell me what to do, or where to be, or what to go, I can do that.
Well, exactly. To enforce a structure.
Some people can't.
The people who can't function in a structure may not be our people, because we come from a people who had structures in the family, who had structure. See, because one of the things that I came to
But
terms,
all type of different, it's a different structure, Tatiana.
if we go across the continent, we're gonna find people that were structured. And even though the structures may be different, the structures are similar enough where individuals can work within them. Now, this is the point. What we have is, Brother Sifa said, that we got to be able to understand humbleness and humility. Because you can't learn if you're not humble. You understand? When I came to Nomo, or better yet, I'm gonna even go back to Simba. I came to Simba, right? When I first started going to Simba, it was within maybe 5 years after I had been nationally documented rites of passage. I'm documenting. I got an actual documentary that aired all over the country on PBS. I went to Simba with an arrogance, but I wanted to see what they had. I wanted to learn, so I humbled myself. And I still remember Elder Gaylord having us drop to one knee, and he threw my Nation Builder shirt on me. He said, "Brother, I'm loaning this to you until you prove that you're worthy to have it. If you do not fulfill your duties, I will get my shirt back. If you fulfill your duties, it's yours, and you could come back next year." Working towards that. But if I would have went in there with an arrogance, like some other people who came and got bussed home, arrogance and did some of the stuff to other people, and that got sent home, I was able to do that successfully year after year because I humbled myself. And many of us don't understand what it means for us to humble ourselves, because the only way you can be receptive to learning is if you're humble. This is one of the issues that a lot of our children have with learning from the teacher. Giving them respect, but then even when the teacher is giving them respect, a lot of our children have not been taught to be humble. Sit down.
Or reciprocity, or just reciprocity. You have not been taught to give unto others what they give unto you.
And that's what I tell my kids. I be like, I be having kids come in, because you already know. Want to call me uncle, want to call me daddy, want to call me cousin. I be like, family. We can't be family if we don't have the 3 R's of a relationship. What's that? Respect, responsibility, and reciprocity. Don't call me uncle. Don't call me cousin. Don't call me dad. Don't call me brother. And that's for even grown folks. If we don't have those 3 R's, we ain't related. You see what I'm saying? So I'm sorry.
I mean, when it comes to community, the thing that I look for in all my relations, mutual functionality, something that I am constantly willing to give. I'm constantly giving. You understand? So a lot of times, being able to establish those relationships, a lot of times takes years and seasons and years to maintain. And one thing that I recall just jumping around from the East Coast back to the Midwest, is that every time I jumped into a different city, all over again in terms of reestablishing myself within communities and the relationships with, you know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things that, is definitely important in being able to maintain relationships with those who some standard, some guideline of who we maintain within our inner circle.
Now let me say this. This is what's powerful about community, right? Because now, and structure, once you understand reciprocity, respect and responsibility, and you're able to function in one community, when you get transferred over, because let me tell you, send me to places, and I will be able to step in with my rank. You understand what I'm saying? With the respect of the elders. I mean, I done had elders send me places, and as soon as I walk into the community, no matter how long I'm staying there, they treat me like family. One of the benefits. This is one of the benefits of building a village-like thing, because then the love that I have is transferable. This is what we got to understand, because when we start really operating in this way with that reciprocity that Lady J is talking about, other individuals, I will be able to be like, I want you to go here. As a matter of fact, we did something like this before. Where I need you to go here.
You just pick up, people just pick up on energy, which is innate, right?
Right. Now
people are just picking up on energy.
Not just on your, but they're not just picking on your energy. They're picking up on your relational, the relationship energy, because you come with a chain. When I went someplace, they didn't just pick up on my energy. They picked up on the elder that sent me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you brother Hatem. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, hey, this from your uncle. This from your uncle in Chicago. I understand. This is, you know what I'm saying? Like in certain circles, I could say Nomo's name, and motherfuckers know, right? You know, Nomo been there for a while. I still could say Nomo's name in certain circles, and shit start to happen. All right, wait, hey, that's my teacher. You know what I'm saying? And I got elders that's alive right now that I could, because of our relationship, I could walk into a situation. I'd be like, boom, 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 oh, boom, and we start comparing notes. I'd be like, yo, boom. See that whole lineage thing, because this was a big thing that Shaka used to talk about years ago, the lineage. You know what I'm saying? Boom, when you can connect yourself to a lineage, you transfer. That's reciprocity in action. But a lot of us, we're not building like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? We disconnect ourselves from the lineage. Right now, I want to go back to one more thing, because Asifa says something very important. It's one thing I want us to understand. Acculturated into somebody else's culture. What does that make us? That make us cattle. We are domesticated. See, we got to understand, we are domesticated Africans. We are domesticated Black people. And you got to understand what happens to domesticated animals. Domesticated animals are fed upon. They may not be eating us physically, at least we don't think. But we have been being eaten off of economically, politically, and every other way in the society. Understand that the human being, that the human, the not just the human, but the animal kingdom, death. Even the plants, it requires something else to die so that you can live. Black folks, you are a domesticated being here in this country. And because you are domesticated, you must understand that you are being slaughtered.
I said.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us, we don't think that. So,
I agree.
So we'll argue.
I agree 100%.
We'll argue history over our religions. We don't argue. When you get to the principles, this is what I love about Kwanzaa. Because see, I could point out unity in the Bible. I could point out self-determination in the Bible. I could point out in the Quran. I could point it out in the Bhagavad Gita. I could show you where the principles line up. We have a problem because we want to argue history. History's written, you know what I'm saying? Other than African history and discussions and building, other than that, we can argue. But when we start getting into this whole belief system and arguing histories and myths and shit, I'm not doing it. Why? Because it takes away from the focus. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna be honest. I don't give a fuck about how you.
Is that the same with religion?
Oh man, it's definitely religion. See, because this is what most people's arguments are about. Their arguments. See, this is how you know somebody that's really in depth in their religion, because they don't argue history with you. They argue principle. When you really talk to somebody that's plugged into the spirituality of their faith, they really are operating on the mind. Even if, you know that word faith, they're operating on their mind. They're talking to you about principles. They're not talking to you about events. They're not talking to you about history. This is where we go wrong, family.
They're talking about things that transcend.
That transcend all that. You see what I'm saying? See, because for me, it doesn't matter whether or not it's true or not that Jesus rose, but what is important is the principle behind the rising, the idea, the symbolic gesture of the rising. That's what's important. The history of whether it happened or not don't make a fucking difference, because I understand symbols, I understand signs, I understand principles, so I can understand how the possibility of the rising of the dead can move you. I understand it, but don't come argue with me about that shit like it's real. This is just like somebody who's in love with Kim and want to argue whether or not Heru is real. So I said, nigga, you expect me to believe that there was a man walking around with a hawk's head? Here, you just as crazy as those motherfuckers who talking about somebody walked across water. Y'all all crazy. You're not getting to the point. You're not getting to the principles. See, this is where we can empower ourselves when we start talking about principles, like what you brought up about relationship, reciprocity. We all experience reciprocity. We all experience faith. We all experience self-determination. We all experience truth. We all experience justice. We all know. You see what I'm saying? But we all don't experience Allah. We all don't experience Jesus. We all don't experience Buddha. You know what I'm saying? Those eternal things is what we need to be getting involved with, is what we need to be focused on. I'm not. Go ahead.
I hate to say this, Hatim. I hate to say this.
Go ahead.
Don't assassinate. I mean, you know, just don't come against me. But I do believe that we experience when I teach. When I teach, it's part of the curriculum to teach religion, right? So a lot of districts and teachers would avoid teaching religion, right? A lot of teachers do not teach religion because they are afraid to teach religion, right?
Which they should
be. But
my
my thing is, so they won't teach religion. They should be?
No, I said they should be scared. See, because, for example,
I don't understand why they're scared to teach religion when it's all tied in.
See,
when everything is tied in.
See, but religion.
Can I chime in on that one?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
But sister, how you doing? From my observation of it, you know, I think reason why, from my understanding of it, is because a lot of them really have, they really have questions of their own faith, their own ideal of system of belief, if it's right and true and exact. I had to say this, you know, as far as teaching how the principles of the religious systems are collectively one.
All of the same principles. That's what I was going to get.
Right.
They all got the same principles.
Right. The principles are how they won. But then we got to be able to expose the fiction behind the principles. See, you feel what I'm saying? Behind, not the principles, but behind the fabricated process that they use.
But you can't do that in school.
Behind religion.
Right. Not behind
religion.
You can't do that in school.
But not behind the principles, because all of those religions are based off the same principles. They all teach the same. It's all in Hatim. Again, don't click me off your line, but it's all about religiosity.
Well, hold on,
I'm sorry, it's all about your spirituality, but it's all about righteousness.
Well, hold on,
it's all about righteousness.
Hold on.
All of those religions
I
are
agree.
based on righteousness.
I agree, but you can't teach that in school. This is why. Because most.
Why can't you teach that in school?
I'm about to tell you.
Why wouldn't you teach that in school?
Be patient. Be humble. Listen, listen, and because I need to get you on this, because what happened is you worked with the parents that I work with. parents don't understand. So how are you going to elevate the children? Parents are still wrestling with the stories.
Again,
so for me to be,
it wouldn't matter. It doesn't matter, because at the basics of my African spirituality, at the basics of my African heritage, and at the basics of every religion, at the basis of is this idea of righteousness, is this idea of this village, is this idea that is what is right is innate in us.
Listen.
So at the end of the day, I just gotta say this, as teachers, at some point they gotta figure out that your job is to responsible citizens. Responsible citizens is knowing the basic principles. Treat people how you want to be treated. Treat people how you want to be treated. The further we get away from the basics, we are.
You don't have to teach that through religion, through a religious studies. See, because this is the point. The way that you think makes it dangerous for you to have a religious conversation. You do not understand. Wait, hold on, listen. Listen to me. How many times I got to go back and clean up after somebody tries to have a religious conversation with people that don't understand spirituality? All they know is Jesus. All they know is the story of Jesus. All they know is the story of Allah and what happened to Allah. Listen.
At the end of the day, as teachers, you are mandated to teach.
No, you're not.
I
got somebody from the.
It's part of the common.
No, it's not. Listen, I got some.
It's part of the curriculum.
Listen, I got somebody. Listen to me. Well, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Oh my God!
I got somebody.
So you can just choose what standards you're going to teach.
Shit, that's what they've been doing.
Can I interject for a second?
Well, hold on. Wait. No, hold on. I got Brother Joe Berry says that's my big brother. I see for his sending out shots. He also said something back when Lady J said, they said you don't believe the birth of Christ, and I just laugh and tell them to research Christmas. Now, Jill Jackson say, truth, let's get to the point, more than the characters. Man, and now wait, hold on. This Dr. Jill Jackson, listen to me. Well, I ain't gonna give her business, but listen. Man, look, this topic don't pay, has too many consequences, and is not on a report card. So it ain't a priority to teachers. That the whole religious discussion, family.
No, that's not true.
Hold on, let me finish reading. So, right, I've let you go. That's not a teacher's job. Teach, not required, is not required.
That's not true.
Listen,
that's not true.
Listen, Lady J, don't make me come to your job and snatch your ass off the job because you about to put you.
You're gonna put me on.
You're not on mute. I'm not gonna put you on mute.
Curriculum.
Listen.
Grade curriculum. It's not a test. It's not a tested grade because you test sixth grade. You test sixth grade, but seventh grade curriculum you teach. You teach religion. It's part of the standard. You can't. Like my people I got people in Whitehall. When I did my student teaching, I got people in Whitehall that refuse to teach the chapters out the book.
Because they want to keep their job.
They refuse to teach the chapters
because they want to keep their job. You don't even listen to me.
You teach American history if you don't teach racism. If you don't
listen to me. Wait, hold on, time out. You got, hold on. We're crossing wires now because we was just talking about the slavery piece. Now, a teacher should be able to teach. But hold on. I can understand why
I'm talking about the curriculum.
Listen. The only thing I'm saying, We ain't even got to argue this. Sister, it is not wise dealing with people that are basically at a zombie level of existence to go in and tamper with the faith. All of that's because they're operating on blind faith. And wait, hold on, wait, hold on, no, you don't. No, you don't, because you got to come back.
I do.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
No, when you do that, comeback.
Listen,
I don't have a comeback.
It is very dangerous.
Is that any teacher, certified teacher, that teaches in a state that teaches Common Core, that has standards, teach the religion because it is part of history.
No.
You
listen to me.
You can't teach world history without teaching world religion.
Bullshit.
So you teach
That's
about
bullshit. Because they've been teaching world history without your black ass for a long time. Listen to me.
I'm going to shut up.
Listen to me.
I'm going to shut up. I want to hear from your friend.
I still love you, lady.
Yes, can I ask you something? Can I ask you how tall are you? Are you?
Who are you referring to?
The gentleman on the phone call. Not him. I know how tall he is.
Now you flirting? What's going on, girl?
I'm wondering if I know this man. I'm asking how tall is he?
There's several people online. Asifa is 6'1". Asifa is 6'1".
Got it.
Okay, can I interject for a second, Brother Tim, if I may, since this is your show, I'm get permission.
Go ahead, man. You ain't got to. You better jump in. This is how we get down here. This is
okay. Family. Well, I mean, I'm always courteous and respectful. Secondly, that's the reason why it is so important to have our own institutions of education. The way we want to teach in terms of the principles, if it's the religious principles that you want to teach on, based on, no problem with that. But for me, way I'm starting to set up our think tanks. We're going to do our think tanks again, and for tribal Masa Tribal Nation. And we're going to actually start teaching about corrective education and corrective history and corrective teaching as far as religious principles. Not religious principles, but our indigenous principles of who we were as a people before they became an institution of religious practice. You got to set up the structure for that process to be taking place, and the parents will have to understand there has to be an interactive thing. If the parents can't be there, they have to at least show a component of or show that they're interested in interacting with their children and the teachers in that process. We got to have accountability on those levels. Then it says environment dictates hereditary. So if you could teach your children all you want about the principles and religions and all that, but they come into an environment which is counter to that, come to that environment. Because we're not there 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm saying?
It happens most common when children are at their most impressionable stage. School. Those are the times when they really succumb to forces that you're talking about that are outside of what you have been taught and how you've been brought up. But after that, if you can make it after that, you're good.
Right.
But
so that's the reason why I'm saying this. We know our people dealing with this virus.
I'm telling. This is what I'm saying, and then I'm not going to kind of start anything. But what I'm saying is that within a public school system,
go ahead, I'm listening.
There are standards. There are some type of standard that you're supposed to teach, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't really dictate how you teach that standard, but the most important It is your kid has that objective at the end, right? Again, for certain grade levels, is required. For certain grade levels, slavery is required, but people tiptoe around these things. What I want to impress upon the people is that these industries, they are hiring. Every day I teach, I close my door. I've been doing this for years. My doors. What happens in my room stays in my room.
You hope.
I teach the standard. I teach the standard. Nobody dictates how I teach that standard. What materials I use to teach that standard is the standard, the objective that my student must walk away with at the end of the day. How I get them to that point is my business. You teach children how to think, not what to think. And I've been okay since 2003. I've been okay since 2003. So the question is, or the answer is that we need more minorities in these fields to go inside these closed classrooms with these doors standards, where you teach principles, where you teach religion, where you teach history, where you teach geography, where you are able to teach people how to think and not what to think.
Now,
but nobody wants to be a teacher. Nobody wants to be a teacher.
Because we're not gonna get back into that. All right, cool. I don't have a comeback. Let me get back to the story. Listen, let's get back to the story, because y'all know I got to get back up and do the toast. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting back up and do the toast, and I'm gonna have tomorrow morning another show on which is for those on the 21 Nguzo Saba challenge. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But now, so we was talking about the lion, the wolf, and the fox. Now I want y'all to listen to the end of this. The lion, roaring out of rage against the fox, sought an opportunity to defend himself and said, "Of all those who have come to you have benefited you much, who have benefited you so much as I, from place to place in every direction, and have sought physicians the means of healing you." Now, family, I want y'all to think about the whole response here, right? Let me recap for those that don't know. So we got an old king, an old lion, who is calling court because he's about to die. Animals come to pay their respect except for the fox. Now, there's some type of tension between the fox and the wolf. The wolf is second in line, it seems to be, but his competition is the fox. To the lion's attention, and everybody else has come to show respect to you. And the fox here the tail end of this. So the fox enters the cave. The fox come in, roaring at him. The fox lays back and let the lion finish roaring. And then the fox begins to work on the lion's ego. He said, who has benefit amongst these animals have benefited you more than I? Because I have been all over the country looking for a cure for your ailment. When all of us know there's no cure for the ailment because the lion is dying from old age. The lion's ego. Now, this is a skill that some of us need to learn. Sometimes some of us are so damn truthful, honest, that we chop off our own heads before the enemy can even kill us. We kill ourselves before the enemy can even kill us. This fox towards the ego, the vanity. I'm looking for a cure. So the lion immediately demanded, so now I want y'all to understand this. The position of power changed. Now the lion, rather than yelling at the fox, now has to ask or demand, give him something. So now what the fox has done is made himself more valuable than any other animal in the kingdom because he has something that the lion needs. We often give his need to them without our fight. We give them our forgiveness. We give them our principles. We give them our service, and we ask for stuff afterwards. That's totally backwards. That's like a prostitute asking to be paid after the sex has already taken place.
I say. I like that, Tim. I like that, brother Tim.
You know what I'm saying? We really, because
You mean you put the money on the dresser before the action?
Yeah. You supposed to put right. You know what I'm saying? There's a scene in Dolomite where they demonstrate this principle.
I thought roses was like Bitcoin.
No. There's a scene in Dolomite. His name was Joe Blow. So he got done doing his business with the prostitute, and the prostitute looked at him and said, "Hey, Joe, where my money?" Joe Blow said, "Listen, girl, I'm Joe Blow, the lover man." So she had to get up, Joe, to give him the money. Listen, what the fox said. Now, I want you to understand the power dynamic shift. The focus went off the wolf and the lion, fox. And now the lion has to demand something from the fox, which means basically he has to ask because the fox got something that the lion needs. So one moment, that one statement, that one playing to the eagle, that one use of wisdom, that one use of slickness, family, we have to understand as a people, we are in the position of the fox. We are in the position of the rabbit. We are in the position of the spider, Anansi. We are in the position of the trickster. And when you start looking into the spiritual realm, the trickster doesn't win because he's the strongest. He doesn't win because he's the fastest. He doesn't win because he is the best looking. The trickster wins. He outsmarts everybody.
I say.
The fox is in a position where his life is on the line. And what he does is he says, look, who in here is more valuable than me? I went around and have found a cure for what you have. The lion demands for it. The lion wants it. The lion is hungry for it. The lion is going to jump on it. See, some of us, we bait the trap, snap too soon. The fox waited till the lion was ready to jump on it. Whatever it is, it requires a wolf and wrap his skin around his body, around your body while it's still warm. So the fox did two things. The fox conserved his own life, power, position, and got rid of his enemy. Family, we will never beat the wolf. We will never beat the lion if we have to go head to head. But our ancestors have already laid it out that if we use the wisdom of our ancestors, if we really start studying the Proverbs and we really start studying the folk tales and we take the lessons from them, we could train our children as well as train ourselves to outsmart every last one of these motherfuckers. They're relying on what the lion relied on. The lion was only the top animal. The lion was only the king of beasts because he is the strongest, not because he's the smartest, not because he's the best looking, not because he's the fastest. He's the best because he has the best to rule the world at that point in time. But when it really came down to it, we see who is really controlling shit. The fox has his enemy destroyed, not only destroyed, but flayed. Look up that term. This meant that they ripped the lion to pieces right there while he was alive and peeled his skin off like they used to do us. Peeled the skin off. And the last words that the lion heard, that the wolf heard before he faded off was, and I want y'all to listen to this because this is what a lot of us are doing. Your masters not to ill, but to goodwill. Many of us spend all of our time looking for what we don't want and help what they don't want, rather than moving ourselves and our people and those around us towards what we want. So well that we look for everything that's not right, point it out to everybody, and we're moving our master and we're moving ourselves toward what? Towards ill, rather than towards goodwill.
I agree.
And if we want to bring unity, because I'm gonna have to end it on this, family, I'm gonna give everybody that's on here an opportunity to get a last word. If we want to move towards unity, towards unity, the lesson for the day is one that should ring out for us into the new year. You should move your master not to ill. And when I say master, family, I'm not talking about your boss. About you. This is why I say every morning, activate your reticular formation and look for the principle that we're calling on that day. Kwanzaa is not a once-a-year thing. Kwanzaa is a daily thing. There's a reason there's 7 principles. It's a 7 principles. It's 7 days a week. Every day you could break down. You got 52 times each year to look for each one of those principles. Do the goddamn math. So we're gonna start with Lady J. You got any closing words?
I just want to kind of vibe with you on what you're saying. I tell each and every day is an opportunity for us to do one thing in respect to the revolution. And these things can be big and these things can be small. You know, I just think that we all should do our part each and every day to move us and do all things that are great. I just want to thank you for a great show, Hakeem.
Thank you. I want to thank you for a great debate, great spirit, great energy. I love that Pisces spirit. You know why? Because when I fade away, because I'm a lot older than her. When I fade away, I'm a trickster in the village. I'm just trying to let y'all know. Y'all better harness the trickster spirit. Next on the mic is the incredible Shaka Hansberry. He got his intro music.
So, man, I really enjoyed, like I said, I really had to use my telepathic powers. Just call in today because there was communication. I can't even like look you up no more.
Shaka, listen, dude. They don't even have you on my list no more, man. I can't even find you on my list. But I refriended you again. So look on your thing. I sent you a friend request. What you still doing out here?
Okay. Yeah. So all right, yeah. That's all I really had to say right there.
All right, so Asifa, you got any closing words, my brother?
Yes, sir. Thank you for allowing me on your show, brother, first of all. I just want to, one of my favorite, by me, of course, because I put it out there, let's help each other to help ourselves. You know, that's my my quote that I'm gonna put out there for us. Let's help each other to help ourselves. And again, I'm gonna come out to Kwanzaa tomorrow. I'll be there. Suited and booted, red, black, and green, and all power to the people.
All power to the people. All right, family, I want to thank you for joining us. This has been Gye-Nyame Journey. Of course, you know, this has been Folktales for Grown Folks, where it's been grown folk talk, where we did some wisdom mining. You heard us up in here wrestling with the dirt and knocking the dirt off the jewels that we got tonight. You know what I'm saying? I want to thank everybody that stopped in for a minute. Those of you that stuck around in the conversation and know that this is a Heart of a Simba production. We strive, Paradigms family. I will see you at Kwanzaa tomorrow. I will see you at Kwanzaa tomorrow, and I also will see you before that. Toast at 5:15 a.m. I appreciate if everybody that's on the line will post up that we will be doing our morning conversation and saluting our personal ancestors. Every weekday mornings at 5:15 a.m. On the weekends, you catch me when you catch me. We're gonna do it. We up, and I am out. Peace, family.